What's going on, beautiful people? It's your host Drake, B Drake with Everything Culture, the podcast for all cultures, a podcast with a purpose. And this Sunday evening, of course, it's 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We here with our Sunday night lives when we come together with our audience and we have productive and fun conversations and we do great checkups and see how we've been going throughout the week, what's been happening with the society, what topics we might want to talk about tonight, as well as overall good check-in, showing love to one another. But overall, I want to say thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it. Another week without a new episode. Y'all, we making some changes, but I'm communicating the change. We have some things on retainer, but it go come together. A lot of things step by step. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna hold you. Work has been working me. We got some other things to handle this week, but we ain't doing no complaining. We ain't doing complaining, and we are not trying to make excuses. We're going to do better. Oh, and I gotta. This is a great time for check in with us, see what things y'all want to talk about, what topics y'all want to touch on in the near future. It is September. I think it is. I heard it's Prostate Awareness Month. It's something like prostate examination and things of that nature. Health. Maybe mental health awareness month as well. That's awareness month every month. But it's quite a few things. This is the first live of September, baby. The year has flown by. And we are chugging on by. Some are supposed to be over, but I don't think some know that. Here in Texas, we ain't got the message yet. It's still here. It ain't went nowhere yet. The humidity, baby. We can talk about that all day. Hold on, we go. I see y'all. I see you, Jaya. I'm about to let you in a second. Oh, but yeah, thank y'all for being here. I'm just feeling a little dry around the beard, so we go take care of it real quick, so we look somewhat presentable to y'all. You know what I mean? Like we're loved. Ooh, there we go. There, give me some light. Come on, contrast, come through, baby. Mm-mm-mm. Yes. So, off it all out. Usually I don't be doing this before. It was a busy time. I was eating right before we jumped all live. So excuse my unprofessionalism. We here now. All right. We with it. Psh, headphones on too. I hate having the oil headphones, but we're gonna make it work. All right. Once again, if you're trying to join, you can find the information right here, and that's a capital C for culture. All right. Is shout out to everybody being in here. I hope everybody's week coming by spectacular. Spectacular. I don't know if spectacular is a word. We can use it, but we want to correct it as well. Hello, Brian. How you doing? There's so many people I should have called. I ain't called nobody. I ain't checked on the people I'm supposed to be checking on with. This week has been a very much a. Well, this weekend has been a weekend of recharging, and I needed it. Okay, it is being productive. Being, how do I say, setting boundaries, communicating effectively, but doing all those things, you have to take time and make sure to check yourself. You have to make sure to pace yourself and not saying to be lazy, because that wasn't it, but just like clear your mind and not doing anything. That was this weekend. But Monday, be here tomorrow. It's not a holiday. Last week was a short holiday. It was a short week too. It didn't feel like it. But it was definitely a holiday week. Happy Labor Day again, everybody. But overall, man, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. So the topic I want to touch about tonight, um, yeah, is going to kick off with enabling behaviors. Hello, Royal Realms edits. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Enabling behaviors. Yes. We're all, I know I do. I don't know about y'all. Y'all may not, but have some enabling behaviors. Okay. And what does enabling behavior look like? When someone is setting a goal for something, or someone is trying to stop doing something or begin something, and that person or people are still relying on them to do it, supporting the behavior. When they say no, um, it's like if they, like, for instance, if I say I'm not trying to eat any cupcakes, okay, but you got cupcakes around when I come around, or you are even talking about cupcakes, or even like, you know what, one cupcake don't hurt you, not even realizing the ramifications it may have. That's an enabling behavior. If I say, man, I'm trying to save money, man, then you want to go to the casino, or if you want to go shopping, that's an enabling behavior. Even if we don't recognize enabling behavior, of course, I'm putting some minor things out right now what enabling behavior look like, but I can speak about it when I got my family struggles with substance abuse. Okay, numerous people in my family has, and I remember one year I made it a point that any event that we hosted, and I knew any of my family or even friends, they may struggle with substance abuse, I wouldn't have any type of substances. So they included alcohol at our parties, wedding, whatever it may be. We didn't want to have it around because inviting someone that may be struggling with addiction around substances is an enabling behavior. And to stop having an enabling behavior, we must sacrifice a few things. And I know we don't like to sacrifice. I know a lot of us do not like to sacrifice. Not my problem. I don't care. That's something they got to work out, whatever the case may be. But this is for people I love. And I always say, and to my understanding, love is sacrifice. So maybe I'm not going to be able to pour up. Maybe I'm not going to be able to um go play video games, go out, spend some money, do something like that at this certain time because I have this person I love and I don't want them to be in the worst position that they are or mess up their goal or what they have for themselves. Okay. Because I hope I'm making sense to everybody right now. But I'm gonna talk about some more enabling behaviors, and just I want to hear from y'all. How do y'all feel about enabling behaviors? What are y'all thoughts? Do y'all believe you have some patterns? Do you believe you have some things you're trying to stop? Do you recognize people around you who may enable you to do some things or stop you? Hello, Cassified. How you doing? And I see Jaya and Tara. Is it Tara or is it Tara? I'm gonna say it's Tara because A, two A. I'm gonna give you some time to look for that mute button too. No stress, no stress, no stress. I need to have some elevator music to go along with this.
Hey, so this is Tara,
That's
their
right.
mom from TikTok. However,
Yeah,
yeah, like I said, hold on, see now I got one of the semi enablers with me.
it's okay. I'm gonna ask the question again. How do you feel about enablers? Do you see yourself as an enabler, or do you have people around you who are enablers?
So both of them,
Yeah.
and I hinted on it when I was on the TikTok live about me being an enabler for my husband.
Hmm.
But I said that was so deep that was we didn't have enough time to even scratch the surface on how
Yeah.
I am an enabler when it comes to him. But as far as me being an enabler, I know I do that a lot. And it's because it's more so that I don't want to upset the majority by
Mm.
going against. So I know what you set your goal for, but I know the majority of people. So if we even give the substance abuse, whether your potency is marijuana or liquor or whatever it is, I don't necessarily partake in the marijuana thing, but I do drink.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I'm from Louisiana.
The boot.
Yes, and lived in, and I'm not originally from New Orleans, but lived my majority of my adult life for 16 years in New Orleans.
Mhm.
The culture is drinking.
Yes, it is. Hey,
So
I've
I can't
been.
have a function.
Whew, only place I've been in my life that I've been blackout drunk before.
Right. You can't have a function and not have liquor, even though you have people, without offending somebody.
It's the
So
culture.
the culture is
Ooh.
always drinking. So like you, so and I'm in the military. I'm like I tell you, it's multi layers to this whole little thing. So that's why when you told me what the topic was on TikTok, I was like, nah, I'm gonna stick around. I know I'm dealing with the baby and everything else. I said I'm gonna stick around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we have substance abuse so much in the military, in my personal life, in my family, and I'm stationed in New Orleans, even though I'm from Louisiana and all these other things. So like you have a function and you don't want to enable people and you don't want to offend other people by not having it, but it's a temptation.
Mm,
I
mm.
understand that your goal is your own goal, but you're faced with, I don't want to change myself because that's not my struggle, liquor, but I also don't want to help you to make an excuse by having those things around. And we just gonna stick with just the alcohol aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I also know that there's people that they not necessarily trying to abstain completely from alcohol. They'd be like, oh, let's give Lent because Catholic religion is major in New Orleans. Oh, I'm giving up alcohol for Lent. You'd be like, girl, you want to go to brunch?
Mm. Mimosas. Okay.
And exactly, it's never just go eat. The fellowship includes having a mimosa, having a French 75, drinking some kind of way. And that's how it's like a gateway. I understand that that's your goal, but why am I offering something that I notice it will be a stumbling block to you?
Mm.
But in the culture that's where I'm at, it's very easy for something that's your goal and me doing something to help you enable it. However, the more in-depth version of that is, girl, you could just have one drink. I know you on Lent, you giving it up. Just one mimosa ain't gonna stop nothing. Why would you do that knowing, why would you offer the drink? So being around it where we from, you can't never not be around liquor in New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah. So, ooh,
But being an active participant in offering something to now being an active enabler. I think New Orleans might be one of the hardest cities, in Austin too. The hardest cities to actually be.
Austin.
Oh, Austin drinking, baby.
I could say that with Houston too.
Well, I never see the culture of drinking in Houston for me, but I was a tourist.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Because you know
harder for
you
me to
have
find liquor.
brunch. You listen. I think. Are you in Austin, Cassie? See, I say with Houston, it's everything. It's substances all over the place. Same thing with being in Seattle. It's very apparent. But it depends where you, because you could be in spaces where it's not there. I think, but I do agree. I think it's harder to be in New Orleans and be out and about and not be faced with alcohol. I will agree to that.
Yeah, and it's not just so alcohol is the lightest of systems. My baby Cairo decides he wants to talk today, but having alcohol is like the lightest of substance, but it's still the major struggle with the people that's in my circle. Um, and then they'll give it up for instance, for Lent or for health reasons and all these other things. But when you have 24-hour liquor stores, you want to have a baby shower. I hated my baby shower. I
Mm.
couldn't drink. Well, technically, I could have drank if I wanted to be a bad mama, but like, I
We
didn't want
prefer if you
nobody to
didn't
be.
hear whatever. We like, hey, shout out to the baby, shout out to the sober moms out there. You okay? But go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I didn't want to drink, and if anybody want to drink while they pregnant or have a glass or whatever they want to do, they because some people like you can have a glass of wine and it's fine, red wine. I was completely dry for my pregnancy. For my baby shower, I understand that y'all be wanting to turn up. However, comma, I couldn't partake and I love to drink. I'm not an
Yeah,
alcoholic, but I do like to drink.
yeah.
It was a problem. People was like, I'm not coming. I had people that didn't understand. They was like, well, is it bring your own? So eventually I folded and I was like, cool, if you bring your own, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
turned from bring your own to my husband having a full on mini bar that wasn't a part of the freaking budget in the first
Mm.
fucking. I'm
Mm.
sorry, in the first
Mm.
place.
I see.
Then they had, man, it turned into a whole thing. And
Yeah.
he's not even from Louisiana. He's from Mississippi.
Of course.
And he turned it into this whole little like his friends and associates had the men had their little
It
cognacs
was lit.
and
You know, he had a little party over there in the corner. I ain't mad
with
at it.
cigar. It wasn't even in the corner. They
Oh,
had cigar circles. It was a thing. And I'm like, I freaking hate you because
oh,
it's not even that I want to drink, but you know what I asked for is the first thing. And then secondly, it's just I'm pregnant. So even with y'all doing the other stuff, like the drinking wouldn't have affected me directly, but y'all
yeah.
smoking cigars because y'all have whiskey and cognac.
Yeah, and
That's
that's not a
disrespectful.
good. Even the smoking cigar is not good. This at the baby shower.
It the whole culture changed of my baby shower. My whole
So, mm,
I
mm,
didn't even
mm.
take. I have hired a photographer. I told them I didn't want any of the pictures. I said I'm still gonna pay you because you did everything, but that is not
Wow,
what my
that's
vision of my baby
crazy.
shower. Like it literally turned into a how it wasn't for me.
Well,
I
I
had a
hate.
party.
I'm
That's
sorry
what.
that you had that experience, especially where you didn't have the pictures. You didn't even want the pictures anymore. And but that it comes to that point of once again the pillars here, everything culture is respect, communication, and consistency. Okay.
Mhm.
Hey, Court. And it's to that big point you communicated, but that consistency go both ways. That's the one thing I say consistency. It has to be both ways. Okay. That's it's constant. We are consistently going back and forth with our respect and communication. Okay. It's ever flowing. And when you have a point where people are not respecting you, even though you tell them, hey, I don't want this, and they're like, well, they don't, for whatever reason, that's not important to me. Okay, your feelings, or your thoughts, or your emotions about what I want it supersedes, and that it get complicated with that. And we have to go back to that foundation of communication and respect and consistency again. Like, hey, well, we have to find some type of mediating understanding of what we're doing. So going back to, I see my guy Mike. Shout out to my guy M Bigger Dyke, 17. Speaking about once again, let me go all the way back to everyone. The question and the conversation we're having tonight is enabling behaviors or enabling culture. Okay. And we're speaking about like, hey, are you an enabler? Do you have enablers around you? I'm both. And many of us will say we're both. We're on up to it. And at what level do we take it? Because even Mike, and I share that if I know someone that I love and have respect for, and they have a substance abuse issue, I've thrown events without alcohol just because of that one person. But I that person is close to me. I love this person, and I know what they're struggling with. Okay. Now, if it's someone I really don't know and things of that nature, stranger, and I may not have that type of relationship, I may rather, like as Mike is saying, if we're having a thing and you don't have self control, don't come. That is also an option. But I want that person there at my event more than I want to have alcohol at times, you know, more than I want to have whatever I may be having. Okay. That's where it comes down to when we're talking about addiction. And, you know, we got a little, how many, we got about 7 more minutes here on, we'll see how if more people be tapping the screen and sharing on to the tube, we'll stay on the tube for a little bit longer. But for instance, I have heavy drinks in my family. But like at my wedding, I didn't have alcohol at my wedding. People still got alcohol at my wedding. Let me just say that people still brought it in somehow, some way at the venue. Okay, thank God we were not fined because everybody would have heard directly from Mr. Drake. But it's one of those things where when we really think about it, listen, eating. I say food is it may not like I was talking to Renata earlier. I may come off like I'm harsh, but man, I eat and I like to eat well. Shout out to my alter personality, Robert. Okay. Thank you for the heart. We appreciate you. And Everybody know when you're trying to do health, like I don't want to have diabetes. I have a high blood pressure. Okay. I know I need to lose weight. I work out like crazy. Okay. Not crazy. I work out moderately. Let's just say that. And but when the doctor said, well, but I need to lose weight, and I know it starts at the plate. I know it starts at the plate. Well, do I be eating wild stuff? Do I be going and getting cookies? When I like at work, I say at work, it's something very well. Like I don't know where y'all work or what y'all do, but you can go to places like your job could have a bowl of candy. I could listen, I could be good not eating, a lot of sweets and things of that nature until you put it in my face. Mm, that's a lot of things too. But you put like I'm cool, I can resist until you put it in my face. Now I can smell it. I'm thinking about this on my mind. Hey Renata, hey Tanya, how y'all doing? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. And it's the temptation, and it's hard now. And I used to be. Don't get me wrong. Listen, and what Mike is saying, when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, I used to be the worst. I used to be though. Is it worse or worst? Either way, I was very that friend. Like if you say you're not trying to do something, oh, we go do it. Cause F it, why not? That was me. Everybody think everybody like, oh, cause oh, I'm the most square, clean cut. My partners know. If we about to get in some mess, it's gonna be me leading it, and we could keep it clean. But at the same sense, I've seen some of my friends. Oh my goodness! If I talk about some of my peers dealing with substances or dealing with other type of addictions, behaviors, I sometimes I think maybe we should have acted a little bit earlier. You know, I remember when codeine was a big thing, and it was big in Houston. But I'm not from Houston. I'm from East Texas. I'm from Tyler, and I saw one of my peers do it to the point where he didn't even remember what happened the night we was hanging out and got mad at us because we didn't invite him to come hang out when we were talking about it the next day. And I was like, motherfucker, you was right there with us. You was there. This isn't like a week or two, a month ago, a year ago. This was the next night. He didn't remember nothing happened the night before. I was like, hey man, what did Eddie Murphy said to Charlie Murphy after they stomped out Rick James, man? Hey man, it's sad, man. He needs some help. You know what I mean? That's that feeling we be having. I ain't gonna lose so much casting, especially if you decided to start the week eating health. Yeah, man. Let me tell you, bringing donuts in the morning. Oh my gosh, why are you bringing donuts in the morning? Okay. And I'm gonna read the chat real quick. There's so many levels of enabling, but if the person self-identifies as having an issue, then it's up to their self-restraint and temptation. Sometimes, if you know you have the issue, you have to know to remove yourself from some places. I agree. Now, this is the empathetic Drake right here. This is big heart Drake right here. How hard is it for people who's already cutting off and having an addiction that they can't even go to social events and functions? Every function they go to have alcohol or whatever is there. Are we really friends to those people? Are we really loving those people? Are we really building a safe space for those people? You know what I mean? The fruit of the spirit into the chat. You feel me? That's my thing. Cause if I was that person and I want to hang with my friends, I want to spend time with my people. But man, I can't put myself around them no more. Now I'm isolated. And once again, just from the outside, I empathize. I know someone who, when you're already dealing with a vice and you're stuck out, and now you're isolated, it's gonna kind of make it. It's gonna kind of make it to the point of like, hey, F it. You know what I mean? I've seen. Ooh, that's I keep saying I got whenever I start making my time and put more effort back into the podcast. This is a conversation that I want to hear if I have someone that have struggled with substances. And this is not pointing nobody out. If you have, if you in this live, you ain't comfortable talking about right there, I never want to pressure anybody. But in the future, I want to have people come on and talk about like what is the experience with this like. 'Cause that's the point of this podcast is to build empathy for one another. And don't get me wrong, you still can hang out, have your events and stuff. But hey, you know what I mean? You feel me? Hold on, Mike saying, ain't your daddy. That's on you. Now, if you really want someone there, whole different story. Yeah, that's what I say. But if I ain't gonna hold on, but I ain't gonna not have cake because you're on a keto diet. Agreed. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I'm not saying put the cake there. That's the point. That's cake. But listen, I agree. That's a big part. But when people start passing the cake around, you know, and it's a different, like that's a level when people start passing the cake around, and that's the other thing. People, let's keep it real with one another, y'all. If y'all see people who don't drink, what's the first thing y'all say? Come on.
I don't drink. But when my family have folks who that drink, they be like, "You don't drink. What's wrong with you?" I just don't drink. I don't need alcohol. I'm never tried, but my whole family feeling need alcohol to be social.
Oh, and Renata is from Louisiana and New Orleans too, correct?
Outside the place. Yep.
Yeah, okay, okay. Hold on, bring your own keto snacks, bring your own non-alcoholic drinks, or don't come unless, as you said, there's some exception to the situation. That's on you, fam. But Mike, man, but you know this. But you know, I'm telling you, I feel both ways. But I always gonna have that understanding. I was gonna have that understanding. That's the I'm the caring. Once again, we all can do better. But man, because I would hate once again with the cup, like me working out, for instance. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back. Let me bring it back. So this is a situation, and I'm trying to be cool about it. I'm trying to be cool about it. Hear me out. Hear me out. Cause this is a different type of enabling. Okay, this is not you. This is the option. This is like once again, as Tara shared, there's different levels to this. Okay. So I have a family member. I love this family member, but this family member does not make the best health conscious choices for themselves. Okay. And once again, when I know you have an issue, I believe we can have a resolve to the issue because, especially when the issue is affecting your livelihood. Okay. Because when we can talk about the difference between use, abuse, and addiction. All right. Abuse, when you're like, okay, it's affecting it's a part of my routine. It's more of a habit. Use is just every now and then. Abuse is a routine now. It's like, yeah, this is part of it. I ain't lost nothing. I ain't adjusted nothing. But when you get to that addiction is when your life starts to change because of whatever this is. Am I making sense? Like whatever this is more important than my friends and my family. Whatever this is more important than my job. Whatever this is may be more important than me breathing and living. That's that addiction right there. And when you get to that, that is crazy. Well, and when I say crazy, it is addiction. Let's be put it there. Let's be clear. That is it's abnormal. I'm big. I always say when we use words, I'll just put it this on Twitter earlier. We have to be careful when we use the word. Every word have a definition to it. Crazy, weird. If you know what it is, you know it's something. Both mean it's abnormal. Some people not used to. It goes against the social standard. So it can go to the point of understanding that. But when I want to be focused on, I have a family member. They're in the hospital because of the things that they ingest in their body. Y'all following me? Y'all following me? They're on a strict diet. They are being forced, not forced, but they are in rehab to better their health. They're not forced to do it. They can leave when they want to, but they understand this is a beneficial resource that they're receiving that people may pay a lot of money for. This is to help them person out. And what Court is saying is a prime example too. Cause this person here is crazy. Cause they would laugh at the people on my 600-pound life and living the life themselves. Just you ain't 6, but you probably at the 4. And then once again, I'm big on like you can have the weight, but are you able to move around? Like I'm about 250, 260. Last year I almost hit 270, the heaviest I ever been in my life. But I don't look it. That's what everybody say. It's people that weigh the same thing I weigh, but don't look nothing like I look. All right. Because I am like something, and I'm big on if something happened to me, I can move around. Thank you, Lord. So why do I have people that are sneaking food into this person's hospital or their room at rehab? McDonald's, donuts, sandwiches, whatever. That's enabling, baby. That's enabling. That's dangerous. Hold on. Let me go to the chat. Mike is in here cooking. Trust me, I know I didn't drink for the longest. Okay. So speaking from okay. I don't do shit I don't want to do. You can pressure all you want. I don't care. I feel that. I feel see, but we may be built different though. We may be built different. If they're going to relapse, they are going to do this regardless of what you do. I'm gonna come back to that. I know this from experience. Can't help people when they want to help. They gotta help themselves. Not really different. Food is one of my biggest addictions. Trust me, I get it. I be trying to eat right, but be on my own shit. Then my wife get mad because I don't want to go eat bad food with her. Mm, mm, I've been both of those. Okay. We all guilty of that. Yeah, we are definitely. Listen, my wife was losing weight. Listen, I know I'm her vice, and when I know she's mine. That's part of it. No, it is. But when we talking about like, yeah, sneaking food, like, like I said, it's levels, Mike. It's levels, y'all. I'm seeing on Facebook, and I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm trying to keep it cool. And this person, they don't be watching my show, even though I be trying to send it to them and educate them and talk to them through this. Everybody that know me, if you want to, if don't, I'm one of those people. Don't ever say, man, where you been? Where you looking? You can find me every damn Sunday, damn near. I ain't hard to find. If you want to find me, you can. I'm scheduled, okay? But it's disturbing because I'm seeing you ask for food online. I'm seeing you go to Facebook and y'all, I don't want to eat this, I don't eat that. You're not a child.
Hmm.
People gotta force you to eat vegetables. People gotta force you to cut carbs.
Oh,
And my thing is when your life, this is like you could be out of here next month. And now this when when my empathy goes away. Once you have a life threatening event and you steady fight, it's like you're fighting, you're working with the Grim Reaper. You don't want to get better. And that's when it gets to that point of my empathy gets hard because you're getting the help and you know it's helpful and you're fighting it. You're fighting it. I know that addiction is strong, but you know better. You know, and that's when that's that level. I can see if you, I could throw the event, but like as Mike is saying, but now if you're asking people to still bring you the food, but you still in rehab too, that aggravates me. When I try, let's do some squats. Let's walk in place. Let's do something. This is where I am with parents with the destructive enabling. I like that destructive enabling. That's the different one. It could be passive enabling or it could be active enabling too. I'm gonna have to look it out. I'm gonna take my time with this one. But this is something that it's been on my mind because it's one. I'm in on this. I'm not trying to get upset at the person, but I get mad at the other enablers. I'm like, I see what you stop with this. They really want it. Fuck what they want. What they need.
So I have
What?
a different take on that one too.
Yes,
I'm
Tara.
so sorry.
Oh, go ahead, please.
So enabling from my parents to my youngest brother, who is in his 30s, so not a baby by any means. Um, Father of three by three different mothers, cannot hold down a job. Decided to go buy a car. Because wait. The way he qualified for the car is because they put him on their credit cards to make his credit score higher. Right? So he out here with sitting pretty with a good old 795, 785, something like that. Was boasting about it on social media about his credit score, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I guess so, Negro. If they did the same thing for me, I would have a good credit score too, because my parents they're decent financially. Decided to go get a car because of his credit score, and he was holding down a temp job at a plant because that's what we do out here in the South. They approved him up for a loan. Well, then I knew what was going to happen before it even freaking happened. I was like, this boy ain't gonna hold his job down. He already in arrears for his child support with these 3 different children with 3 different mamas. He ain't gonna be able to afford it. He doesn't, and I'm sorry for my ebonics. He doesn't even have, a place to stay. He go from post to pillar. Whoever let him in is where he stay at. I said, why should he not be able to pay this car note? The quote unquote job, as he puts it, laid him off. It didn't, but my parents think, oh, he got laid off. Well, now he's 3 months behind. And guess who's paying the car note? Guess who's paying his arrears child support? Guess who's paying all these things? I've been busting my tail since I've been 15, 16 and a female. Yes, I'm married now. However, if you afforded me the same opportunities, I would be amazing right now. You are financially enabling him that every time he finds a woman and he go lay down with them, they, for whatever reason, enable him to keep having kids with him, but financially enabling him to do these things. First of all, y'all need to be telling this boy to have a vasectomy, because and if you fit this bill, I'm sorry if I offend you, who 30 wants 3 children under the age of 5 by 3 different women and continue to have children? Every time he stay with a person, he gets them pregnant, and they crazy enough to keep the baby.
Hey,
And,
seem like
they
this person that
they
worked your
keep
nerves right
feeding
here.
him, they keep feeding him the opportunities to keep doing the same thing. And because these women see the family he's attached to, either one way or another. This is what I think. This is my personal. This is terrorism. I coined that phrase with everything that's my opinion. His either their parents are not gonna let me struggle, or he's a good guy because he came from this. No, he's not ish. And I tell them, and he hates me for it. He loves me, but he hates me for it. When he brings a woman, I'm like, why you want him?
Yeah.
Why would you want
So,
him?
see what you say right there. You about to pivot into the. I mean, I even think about having it as a topic. I made a video earlier this week saying a family member of mine. I ain't gonna say who, but they probably don't care. But I'm keeping the mess as clean as possible. But tell me, my brother's on the T app, and I'm like, not surprised. I'm like, and everything with my family member was saying, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like him, step by step. And I'm one of those brothers. I listen, everything you just said, Tara, I'm the same way. Girl, what you doing messing with him? Like you is something wrong with you? I'm like, that's how I always approach it. But it's different. No, no, it's not different. I'm gonna make sure to go to the chat too. And I'm gonna ask Mike. Yeah, if it's drugs, I'm gonna feel the same way. Food, drugs, sex, whatever the case may be, everybody have a different vice. Shopping. When you get to that part of addiction and people are sneaking stuff into you and you're in rehab and everything of that nature, yeah, you are wasting a lot of resources. I don't be just as I don't want to use the word upset. I'll be more disappointed and hurt. Okay. And I'll be aggravated. That's the other thing. I'll be aggravated. I'm gonna be uneasy. Okay. Because once again, I live like I've been on the side of a son. I've been a son. My mother dealt with addiction. Family. I'm talking about numerous family members, and I've seen that where I snap. Like I'm tired. Like you're putting my life in danger. Lord, ooh, when I say if you go through my TikToks, I got stories. I got stories.
Can I,
Stories.
can I
Go ahead,
speak?
Renata.
I'm gonna speak from the point of myself. I was myself in that point of you asked why enabling, right? And for me, yeah, I tell my story about TikTok. I play around with this weight thing, but it wasn't until I always said I didn't want to have a stroke like my dad, right? Because I saw my dad have a stroke, high blood pressure, all of that. But I kept saying it. I was doing it, but I wasn't really doing it until when I put myself in a situation I had a stroke. And we always say, why do you put yourself in a situation? Why that person? See, we could always say why and point the fingers, but other people's struggle is not going to be your struggle. And for me, I just didn't want to do it. I don't care what you say. I ain't want to hear it. Mind your effing business. Because when you came from my struggles and you are looking at what I'm doing, because mine's on Front Street, I expose yours. But see, people are so quick not to give people grace. And for me, I was an enabler. I was accountable for what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. So when I say, you know what, when I had that stroke, that when I really had the stroke, couldn't talk, couldn't walk, and I was like, all right, God, what you want me to do? And that's when I changed. But I was already doing that just as consistent. And sometimes people have to be put in situations to where mama, daddy, nobody can come save them. But we must give them grace. Again, I have a lot of family members that are highly addicted to alcoholism. It runs in our family, drugs, you name it. But I love them. I'm around them and I don't judge them. What I do, I accept them for where they at. We have to meet people where they at because the world already beating them up, but just to love them. And I think we got away from telling people what to do, but not showing them love. Because if you're really loving them, because I can't change what you do, and I'm gonna just tell it to you. Hey, look, that's your choice. But around me, look, to be around me, and as hard as it may be, because everybody already done cut them to the side, people already pushed them away, and you're gonna be the person showing up for them. But if you're not there to guide their hand, you're gonna be the person that's gonna be like, hey, now, or they might tell you, hey, now look, you was there, I'm ready to take this step, and I will go to rehab, come with me. And I'll go with them. But we are so quick to condemn people and they're wrong. And I feel that's missing. Give people grace. We ain't God. And so many times the world want to judge. And again, your mom, like boy moms, that's what moms do. That's what they do with kids. And that's every woman's situation that have 3 kids out of wedlock. Hell, I had 2 kids by 2 baby daddies and don't give a damn. But that was my situation, but it don't define who we are. And when we judge people or bash them, you don't know people's story to say, hey, I want to come to you for help. But when they hear it out your mouth, and I can say, ouch to that, I'm just saying myself. Drake always say over here, speak what you went through, your experience. And I tell it, that's my experience. So I hope someone out there don't feel as if we are judging you and not reaching out because guess what? Everybody got a story and nobody
Yeah.
perfect, So you just have to find a person you trust to hold that because everybody want to one up and tell somebody else's business. But that's all I got to
No, and I appreciate it, Renata. And I think that's a having that balance is necessary. And if I can speak being transparent, I have hella grace. But when and God be with me as with everybody else. When that grace, when you try to play me as a fool, that's when that unfortunately that's when it turns. And I hate and I don't and it shouldn't turn. It should be bountiful. It should be endless. But listen, you can slap me on the cheek maybe 3, 4 times, but yeah, but what you get in return ain't gonna be nothing pretty because I'm still flesh. I'm still sin as well, you know. So, and I see your hand, Brittany, and I'm gonna say this because with this family member, they get on social media, and that's the other thing that bothers me. They get on social media and they feel like they are pandering, and I'm like, I know, but you got help. You have so much. Same thing when you talking about my brother. People still think my mama died last year, damn near last month. The way he goes out, and was on the T app. Okay, that's on the T app. He he begs, he act like he makes seem like he doesn't have nobody cares, nobody love him, and then he'll switch up real quick. He'll use he'll love bomb you, and he'll get in you. Next thing you know, he got you. My thing is like we just have to be careful in this world. And like saying with my wife, I'm very guarded. Okay, like she'll give everything, and we're both giving people, both of us. But with her, I know people take advantage of her. I know people take. I don't like people being taken advantage of. That's the big thing about it. And when you're dealing with somebody, unfortunately, dealing with addiction, thank you, audacity and gumption. A lot of people, when we're dealing with addiction comes from numerous different ways too. And that's a discussion. This is once again all the answers and all points are not going to be hit on this conversation right here. I want to be clear about that. But I'm glad that we can have these conversations so we can have a better understanding of one another when we're dealing with any type of addiction or abuse and how we can go by it. All right. Hey, Brittany, go ahead.
Hey y'all. I was listening a little bit on Tickety Talk, as you would say. And Renata, I was listening to when you were talking about giving people grace and being able to love those. And I've been in a place where I've had a strained relationship with my mother for years because of her drug abuse. And so for me, I've gotten to the point to where I am able to give that grace to her because I'm able to see that, hey, I know that she could only do so much because of what she learned or what she was taught, as far as what it means to be a mother or to even be a woman. And she didn't have a good example growing up. So she was only able to give what she was giving herself. So for me, that was a realization for me, and that this was just recently. I've been able to forgive her in the past. However, being able to forget all the things that she has done, it still caused resentment in my heart. So for me, I didn't have that true grace. And growing spiritually, growing in my relationship with God, I know that in order for me to not block my blessings and for me to truly give that forgiveness, I need to extend that grace as well to her. And so I respect her as a woman. I see how her upbringing affected her, but my love, it comes with boundaries. God is love. God is all about loving people, loving your neighbor, loving your parents. But we are allowed to set those boundaries. We are allowed to protect our peace. We are allowed to heal and grow so that we can continue living on in our purpose as well. Because if we don't, then we're going to exhaust ourselves as well. And so that's what I've learned in my journey. And I appreciate everything that you said because it made me see uh, the things that I was going through. And so I just wanted to add my little tidbit because I felt it. I felt it. And it's hard. It's really hard. Like I'm going into 37 years and it wasn't until this 36th year that I was able to truly have a conversation with my mom and I cried because I'm like, I see that you did not have that growing up. And I understand that you did the best that you could do with what you were given. Granted, it wasn't you know, what I wanted, but you did what you could. And so now I'm raising a daughter and I'm putting in those boundaries in order to protect her. And I'm doing things on my terms. And she had to learn that as a grandmother, that I'm not playing that. I will protect mine at all costs. But being able to have that conversation and really sit down and not go back and forth, not bicker, but actually talk and hear each other out. It was a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And that grace was truly extended. But again, my love still comes with that boundary because I don't want I'm a generational curse breaker.
Mm,
And it stopped with me. And when
mm,
I said that at the very beginning of my journey into motherhood, I meant that because I don't want that to be carried into the next generation. I want to change that trajectory. I want to make sure that my daughter is set for life and whenever she has kids, she's set for life. We don't always have to go down the same road that our parents went. And
yeah.
that's what I'm relearning in life. Like it's hard as a parent because of the things that I learned from my mom. And so every day I'm praying for patience. I'm praying for wisdom. I'm praying for guidance because it's like, my first instinct sometimes is to yell. And I don't like that. I want to be able to hear my child. I want to be able to have patience with my child because I know that she's still learning.
Whew.
So it's a lot. It's a lot.
No,
But I appreciate y'all.
no, we appreciate you as always, and I love the conversations that we have. Brittany's been on the makings of you, the makings of Brittany, and even Mike, he dropped in the chat. That's the conversation we had before. I would love to bring it back. He said, unfortunately, we don't humanize our parents until we get older, that we understand what they went through. 100%. Absolutely. And I talked about this. When did you realize your parents were people? That's a question. That was the name of the show.
Mhm.
And I don't know if y'all listened to my Mother's Day episode. When kind of with Brittany, like when I talked to my mother, my mother passed when I was 15. And I've never had an adult conversation with my mom. And when the pandemic was hitting, a lot of my peers are losing their parents, and that motivated me to talk, just to finally like, let me get on this mic and forgive my mother and just have a conversation with her from the experience that I had. And I'm gonna say this, and we go hop off the tube and hop off the talk. But my mother, like, I'm gonna give y'all just a brief. Middle school, 12 years old. I was in eighth grade. My brother was going to the sixth. My brother got in trouble. He got put out of ISD. He had to go live with my other auntie. My grandmother, my grandfather passed, and after my brother got put out the home, basically she couldn't take care of him any longer because with her health, she had lupus and she had diabetes, high blood pressure, to name it, the whole gambit, substance abuse, whatever, a whole bunch of stuff going on. And the thing is, I can't say I could empathize with it, but I had to focus on my feelings too. It was a point and that's what I was always holding the house down as a 12-year-old. Okay. And when she went through her depression, because she was bipolar, she was going through a depression mode. And after my brother got sent, sometimes she'll leave for like a day or two. She'll leave for the weekend, maybe 4 days max. Okay. But usually we had somebody else there to kind of watch over us, even though my grandparents couldn't watch over us, we was really watching over them. But this time it was uh, 2, 3 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It turned into almost 2, 3 months. I want to say it was a solid 2 months. No sign, nothing from my mama. The lights got cut off, the water's cut off. I'm sticking in through the windows. I'm locking the front door. I'm still going to school. I'm still going to Hubbard Middle School every day. Didn't never miss a day of school. Didn't miss the bus. I'm still a desk assistant. I'm taking showers at my best friend's house, not through him, through his mother. Like, people in the community. My uncles live next door. He's the bootlegger. People knew what was happening, but we would just keep managing going over until my other people stopped by. The teachers at school would ask, "Man, well, how your mom doing? We haven't seen your mom in a while. Where your mom at? Oh, she good. She fine." I'm making excuses because that's what we're taught to do. We're taught to be more protective of adults. If you've been through abuse and neglect like I experienced, you're raised to be more protective of the parent than yourself. I didn't have a childhood like I can harp on that all day. Not until I started going to high school, I really started to really kind of grow into myself and be myself. You feel me? But I didn't have a lot. I still had a lot of responsibility, but didn't have so much responsibility I had before. But when my mother popped up, well, so I started living with my auntie. My mom didn't pop up until like a month or two later. So it's been like 4 months. And she pops up and like, hey, first thing she says, she's sorry. Do y'all think I wanted to hear any of that? Hell no. I'm furious. I'm thinking you dead, G. What's up? And that's it. That's how. But because if I talk about all my feelings, once again, I talked about it on the show. It felt like you didn't love me. You say you love me, but you're dealing with every addiction. You put that in front of me, so I'm very mindful of what people may be experiencing. But I'm never going to be to the point that I'm gonna put my feelings to the side just to be like, okay, it's cool, because it's not. And I realize, and once again, same thing with my pops. I'll talk about that. The way he acted after my mother passed away, because me and my mother, we got a better relationship, but you never know when you're gonna lose them. But even my pops, I understand my dad had a horrible relationship with his father. My mother was different. My mother was spoiled as shit. That's my thing. My mother was the opposite. She was spoiled. She was the baby of the family. She got everything she wanted. She drove what a Firebird in high school. She had all this stuff, but it affected her in a negative way too. And that's why I see it happen to my brother. But when I tell you my dad, I understand that, but still, how and I had to get to that point, how many times I'm gonna put my feelings to the side. But when I did the episode with my mother, I can still forgive you. Same thing with my dad. I forgave him. But I still, like Brittany said, my love do have boundaries. I pray for you. God has the endless love. Jesus is endless. I'm gonna send you to him. I'm gonna pray for him to protect and put on. I'm flesh. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Even if I wanted to, everything that I'm saying right now, even with my family member, even my brother, my support or my resources are going to end sooner or later. It's going to happen. My love is going to end sooner or later. My resources is going to end sooner or later. I got to send you to something that's greater than me. Because what you're dealing with is greater than me. I could be here to help you within this, but we got to, like, once again, I'm not going to burn out. I got to put my mask on first. I got to put me first. Okay. But all those things being said, we have to be mindful of our emotions, our feelings, and how we step up and help one another too. And listen, we didn't even touch on the other topics we had for tonight, but we go be on a little bit longer. But Tube Talk, Mike, man, who else in here? I don't think when I be getting too deep. Hello, Fatima. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate y'all. We enjoyed the conversation tonight. Longer than we expected. We're gonna be on a little bit longer here on the Zoom. And once again, y'all, we're gonna be switching from Zoom to another platform very soon. We're gonna try something new. But y'all let us know what y'all want to see us on. We go try. I'm thinking about what's the one, StreamYard, but we'll talk about that later. But we want to tell y'all we love
I'm gonna
y'all.
say before I leave, and
Okay,
you
go
will
ahead. Go
too.
ahead.
So I told you on TikTok, I was like, I've been following you for a long time. See your clips, never caught a live. Brittany, I I know I'm calling you out on this one. You and Renata, I might be saying the names wrong. I think there was divine purpose just to hear, because I was coming in here with a mindset of speaking on something else, but y'all's message about your personal going throughs and experiences blessed me and shut me up. I'm sorry if y'all can hear my baby in the background. Shut me up on I was already ready. I was locked and loaded to talk about what I was talking about, but sometimes your mouth get bridled. I messaged in the chat of what my input was on Zoom, but hearing other perspectives is what I'm gonna use. Perspectives of different aspects of what I'm going through, but I was ready to talk about my own stuff. Sometimes you gotta shut up and listen. I really appreciate it. Drake, me being here.
Well, welcome.
Look, I'm
Like,
so happy.
is this anything abnormal to y'all in here? Tanya, Court, Brittany, Jaya.
So
Amen,
Not at all.
amen.
This
look,
is what we do here.
I was ready to be in here to say a whole bunch of stuff and then just listening. And now I'm locked in. I don't even know how I'm here tonight because I came from work. Like I told you, I was in the military. So I drill and I drove in and I was ready to, I was scrolling through lives, saw you was on live on TikTok, but you was like, follow me on Zoom. And I was like, do you have to be? I went ahead and took the leap off of TikTok to be on here, to see the chat and to hear the perspective on this side. Y'all bless me. I'm gonna use that word. I don't know who I'm.
Ain't nothing but the Lord, baby. Let me tell you.
Y'all
that.
bless me, and I really do appreciate it. That's crazy.
Oh, thank you. Hold on, and Tanya had something real quick too.
Oh no, I was just saying. I think Tar, we don't get off of Zoom. We're about we're about to leave TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, we get off of Zoom and we get off of streaming and we stay on Zoom for like another 30 minutes or so, sometime longer. And that's when people really come out their shell on things. Everybody, this is like behind the scenes that you're about to get into right now. You feel me, Tat?
So, in that case, I'm not gonna go nowhere because I thought this was it and I was about to get off.
But we about to get out. Love y'all.